So is it better to be lucky or to be good? We're going to cover this and a few other controversial subjects tonight during our Week 15 game review. Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and we are live here on a Monday night. We're going to be doing our game review of the Week 15 matchup from the Raiders and the Patriots. We're going to talk about that wild ending, and we're going to talk about the game in general. I'm going to go over those 4 keys to the game that I put down. I'm going to give grades for each one of those, as well as the offense and the defense as a whole. I want to say hello to you in here right now. I see a few of you already in here. Officer Rollout, how you doing tonight? And Dominique 5, I see you in here as well. A lot of people are kind of rolling out right now into our live stream tonight. I also have a poll up. I'm going to put another poll up a little bit later. I'm going to bring up a little controversial subject very shortly. So why don't we get right into this and talk about this right now. If you are new to the program, this is how we normally do it right here. Let's see. We have what we call our rundown, and we have our individual topics right here all the way down. And of course, we're going to go with the question and answer segment. And of course, tonight, as we do with our normal game reviews, I'm going to have an open mic. I will have the link in the description. It is the pinned comment if you want to see that right there. That will take you into the green room. If you want to speak live, you do not have to be on camera. Of course, you'll need a microphone. We'll speak about this game or anything Raider related. So let's get right to the first subject. And of course, that's you guys. That's my champions here. Now, as far as our champion count goes, 832 here, 1534 here on the TikTok side. I have not simulcasted this week on TikTok. I am still in the process of unpacking from the move and getting into all that groove and some of the audio visual equipment for the TikTok side I'm still going through. So we're going to be doing that next week though. And don't mind the cats in the background. They're having a little WrestleMania action right now. So I might have to pause the live stream here for a second and be a referee. Give me 1 second, will you please? Okay, we're back. I had to play referee here at WrestleMania right here live for you. A little extra show for you at no additional cost. So I hope you guys appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of you liking and subscribing, especially if you're watching this on a replay. I get a lot of people watching this on replay. If you're not subscribed, why not subscribe so you can be here live to interact with, not only with myself, but the other members of Raider Nation in chat. With that said, let's get right to this game review. And as we normally do, we start on the defensive side of the ball for the Raiders, of course. Here's our base lineups, of course, offense and defensive side. And my first key to the game on the defensive side was, of course, Max Crosby with Connor McDermott here filling in for Isaiah Wynn, who is injured. Backup right tackle. I expected big things from Max Crosby. I want at least 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. What we actually got was 0 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. I'm going to give this grade a C. Crosby was effective in other areas. However, he was a little bit problematic in the second half. As with the rest of the defense on the run stopping ability, they were running on his side of the ball as well. So a lot of faltering on this defense, especially in the second half. We'll get into that as far as the overall grade, but a decent effort from Crosby, but I've seen much better from him as well. Now let's get to the second key to the game. I was talking about Nate Hobbs because I was worried about Nelson Aguilar as a deep threat. I wanted to have Aguilar under 100 yards, under 30 yards for a given play. No big plays, basically, and no receiving touchdowns. Now, let's get into this. Now, Nelson Aguilar technically had one. I see officer rollout, uncatchmanship conduct, no treats in studio. Yeah, it's almost going to get to that point, but I got it under control. So, the actual was one reception for only 3 yards and 0 receiving touchdowns. Now, my grade might be a little bit questioned there. I gave it a B+. Here's why I probably could even went lower than this. Now, first of all, Meek Robertson was on Nelson Aguilar for most of the game. It wasn't Nate Hobbs. He covered him somewhat. But honestly, the defense didn't really do the job that it could have. I think a lot of the issues on this side of the ball were self-inflicted by the Patriots, and we'll get to that with the overall defensive grade, especially with Nelson Aguilar. There was one play where he should have had a touchdown there. To me, he didn't run the route crisp enough, kind of floated. He should have cut in. He would have had an easy touchdown there, and even Mac Jones was on his case about it, and I'd have to agree with him on that. And then the other one, they had a big play. He had a big play. It was reviewed. He was out of bounds. They overturned the call. I think it was a 32-yard play. So kind of a lot of self-inflicted things going on with the Patriots offense. I don't want to give our defense that much credit when the Patriots were screwing up that much. Now, as far as an overall grade, I'm going to give this a B-, and I'm going to keep on this theme because, like I said, I think the Patriots did more to hurt themselves than we did to stop them, to be honest with you. Now, they only had 318 yards, 17 total points on the offensive side of the ball. We'll get to that pick six in a minute. But I can't give this, this could be generous as far as a B-. They had over 200 rushing yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 19 for 172 and a touchdown. And things were going really well in the first half. The second half, not so much. And I'm going to get to that a little bit more in the offensive side of the ball, but it's kind of showing this backup. It's almost Gruden-esque, to be honest with you. It almost feels like we're getting outcoached in the second half of games. And it's a little disturbing, to be honest with you. Not only that, there could be some conditioning issues, especially with the running game. We were kind of getting shredded there in the second half. Didn't really like what I saw, and I'm sure you as Raider Nation didn't like it as well. Now, of course, the defensive side of the ball, I got to show this. Now, I got to say this. Is it better to be lucky than to be good? We can watch the video if you want. I'll put it in a small screen so we don't get dinged for it. But basically, kind of Chandler Jones was maybe in the right place at the right time. Well, I've got a controversial question. I'm going to talk about this after the game review. But here he is kind of bowling over Mac Jones after getting that backwards lateral thrown to him by Jacoby Myers inadvertently, and scoring the touchdown at the end. So they did get the touchdown at the end. You could talk about the defense saying they were on the field a whole lot in the second half because the offense was doing hardly anything in the second half till near the end of the game. So you could partially say that, but still, I think the run defense really faltered, and I could not give them any higher of a grade than a B-. Now, as far as the offensive side of the ball goes, let's go over those two keys of the game I had on the offense. Of course, we're going to go with Josh Jacobs first of all. This guy's leading the league in rushing. Like I said, he should definitely be in the Offensive Player of the Year discussion. This is what I wanted from him. Pretty lofty, 120 yards rushing minimum, 1 touchdown, and 7 rushing first downs. This is what we actually got. We got 22 for 93, no rushing touchdowns, and only 6 rushing first downs. And I'm going to give this a B. I can't really ding Josh Jacobs, the player. I think we went away from the run a little too much. I think with that pick six, we stopped them. New England had the ball the second half. We stopped them. We got the ball back, got the pick six. It took the momentum shifted right to New England. And we didn't run the ball as much as I think we should have, to be honest with you. And that kind of showed because Josh Jacobs had over 70 yards in the first half. So basically they had 20 plus yards in the second half there. They had 5 rushing first downs in the first half. So only got one more after that. So very inept as far as overall offense. I can't really blame Josh Jacobs as an individual. I'll give him a B with this. So now my second key was this offensive line. Ever more patchworky. We had Grassu in there, interior now. We're playing with Illuminor and Munford at tackle, swapping them around. And I was asking, please, just a maximum of 2 sacks and 5 quarterback hits. We actually gave up 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Most of that happened in the second half again. Again, this is a Jekyll and Hyde situation. I talked about this in my halftime report. This team, I still have not seen 4 solid quarters of good gameplay from this team yet this season. I'm going to give this a C-. Now, they didn't quite reach the goal. I know you can say, well, why a C-? There was a lot of pressure on Carr. There was a lot of pressure throughout the game. I think it was shown more as far as the statistics, as far as sacks go in the second half, because Carr was holding on the ball too damn long, waiting for Devontae Adams to go deep, get open. Matt Hollins not checking it down like he should, to be honest with you, especially against this pass rush. We kind of suffered on there. Not only that, I'll get into the penalty yards in a minute and the overall offensive grade, but there was a lot of interior pressure. It wasn't just Uche. He only had half a sack, but Bentley, I think he was the worst. He was the biggest pain in our butt, and he was coming up the middle there as the inside linebacker. He had 1 sack and a whole lot of pressures, especially in the first half. He was just all over the place for them, kind of disrupting this offense and Derek Carr's rhythm. Now, as far as the overall offensive grade goes, I got to say this. I'm going to give it a C-. I think it's a little bit below average. I know we got 308 total yards. I know we scored 24 points against this team. That's pretty decent. It's kind of average to above average. I was looking for 27. I'll go over my prediction in a minute. But the big thing with me, this goes back to discipline. We had 90 penalty yards as a team, 54 on the offensive side. We had 2 delay of game penalties and 4 false starts. 4 false starts on this offense. Unacceptable. I mean, you could very well put this at a D. We did win the game. They did drive. They did basically nothing until late in the fourth quarter. They did drive, get that touchdown. I want to talk a little bit about that touchdown now. I was taking different angles. They reviewed the hell out of this. They allowed this. I mean, this could have very well been out of bounds. If you see the foot here, if you see the other angle, it kind of looks like he didn't touch. Honestly, that could have went either way. I would not have complained about the referee's call. That was a very close call. We got very fortunate there to even tie the game, let alone that wonky play at the end to actually win the game. So, again, I'm not impressed. I mean, we're at week 15 now, and we're giving up basically 6 bullshit penalties. You know, you can have holds at times. If you have to hold Joey Bosa so he doesn't, break Derek Carr in half, I can understand that. But 4 false start penalties, 2 delay of game penalties, and you're at home. You're at home. You are not at Seattle with the 12th man and all this other nonsense. This reflects to we were not ready to play this game. And honestly, fortunately for us, the Patriots looked even worse. They looked like they were less prepared than we were, if that could be believed. So let's get to my prediction. I'll get to your comments in a minute here, but my prediction for this game was a 27-17 win. We gave up 24 total, that pick 6, so you could say that was 17 on the New England side. I think we had 17 points in the first half. We very well should have and could have had that 27 on the offensive side. We only had 24, kind of close. I think that this game should not have been this close. I said in the halftime report, you can watch it, I think that New England will adjust, kind of make a game of this, but we're still going to win. That's kind of what happened. But I didn't see the Raiders' wheels completely falling off as they did. Now, we're at the point where we want to talk about the question and answer segment. How you guys doing out there? And I put out the poll out there. Grade the Raiders Week 15 performance, A, B, C, or D. Most of you have put B. I would say probably B to B minus. I'm going to put overall. Maybe I would even accept a C at this point because how poorly the Patriots played, especially in the first half. That first drive, they were in the red zone. They kind of looked like us under Gruden. They didn't know what they were doing. They called 2 timeouts, had a false start penalty, and they ended up kicking a field goal. They were going to go for it on 4th down. Totally inept. It's very uncharacteristic from a team like the Patriots. That looks like something we would do or other teams would do. I think we were quite lucky to be in a position where they were not at their game. And quite frankly, I'm not impressed with Mac Jones. I have not been impressed with Mac Jones. And if they had a decent quarterback, we probably would have lost this game. But I want to hear what you have to say. Put it in the comments. Or if you want to, I'll open the chat room right now. Let's see. Let's get that chat room going right now. Let's see. Well, I had the chat room open. Where'd it go? I had the chat room open. Give me 1 second. I will open it up. I don't know what happened to it. I might have inadvertently closed it. Give me 1 second. I will do that. And here are some of the stats. If you want to look over the stats, we can do that. Oh, I have it in another tab. There we go. So we have the chat room open. I have the link in the description. If you want to come on, click that link. You'll pick a username and all that. You'll be like in the green room. Make sure your mic's working. I'll get you on if you want to talk about the game in particular. But here's the question I have right here. Look at my question and answer. This is something that's really kind of been bothering me. Kind of figuring this out now. I am also a pro wrestling fan. I have been for a long time, kind of off and on. This is looking like pro wrestling at this point. Not only this game, other games, the Vikings game where they came back from a 33-point deficit. The last 2 Super Bowl winners were at home. That never happened before until now. I mean, what are the odds? We've never had a home team be in a Super Bowl in their own stadium until the last 2 years, and they both were there and they both won. To me, is this sports entertainment? I want to know from you guys. I'm going to end the poll now. I want to know I'm going to put this up right now. I want to know from you guys because to me, it feels like sports entertainment. I want to know, do you feel that the NFL is rigged? And you can vote right now, yes or no, because honestly, that call where we got the touchdown, that could have very well went against us. We've had calls, some bullshit calls. Like last week, you flick a ball away from Bilal Nichols, flick the ball away from Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield comes in, off the scrap heap, was with the team literally 2 or 3 days and has a game-winning drive. It's storybook. This feels like WWE to me, guys. And I want you guys to sound off now. Do you guys feel it's rigged? Do you feel it's sports entertainment, what they call wrestling? They don't call it sports. Let's see. Let's get to those comments. And if you guys want to get into the studio, it's open right here. So hook it up. So let's see what we got here. Win, but ugly win, says Israel. Offense in the second half continues to struggle to put up points. Defense did a good job by keeping the Pats offense to 17 points. Yes, they did. And they were on the field a hell of a long time in the second half. But that run defense was getting absolutely gashed up the middle. That was very concerning. And, Masterson was looking good. And I said that in the halftime report, looking very good. It had a couple tackles for loss. Perryman was kind of there and kind of not. Like I said, Max Crosby, probably not his best game especially on the run side. I know he sniffed out that bootleg That was a good play from him. Full effort. I'm going to say that's not his best game. Connor McDermott, he should have had that guy for dinner, to be honest with you. A backup right tackle, and you're talking about arguably the best pass rusher in the game. So not having any sacks to me, even getting double teamed and chipped, he should have had at least one. Psycho Jackal, what's up to you? How you doing? Earth Daughter, happy birthday. Yes, thank you very much. It is my birthday today. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for the birthday cake and all that good stuff. So, hey, Nordstrom's called. They want their piano player back. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to have to decipher that there rollout. Officer Wiggum, that's our Chief Wiggum there in your avatar. That's pretty interesting. So didn't really get that. You must be listening to the background music. I have kind of relaxing music. So I really wanted to know what you guys think about the NFL here. We got 3 votes. All 3 are for yes. We got 6 people in the chat. Why don't we have 6 votes? And better yet, why did we have only 8 likes? I had a few likes coming into this thing before I even started. So hit that like button. If you like this, hit the like button. If you want to talk about this, if you want to talk about, is the NFL rigged? Is it sports entertainment now? Yes or no? If you have an argument for it, get into the chat right now. Look onto the pinned comment. There is a link on that pinned comment. Go in there, you click it, and I will put you in the green room. I'll put you on right here. Of course, I have to point the opposite way. I keep saying that I have to point the... Well, I have to point the opposite way. Let's see, 25%. Now we got 75-25 now. So, but to me, I do think it is. To what extent, I don't know. To me, it's too much coincidence for a lot of things that have happened. We have a lot of games coming down to the wire. I remember watching football in the 70s, 80s, and even the 90s. We didn't have this many close games. You'd have a certain, it's kind of like Major League Baseball, where you have 3, 4, 5, 6 teams at most, really good teams. And then you have the other ones kind of meddling. They're kind of mid. And then you had maybe half dozen really shitty teams. And if you had a really good team, unless they were playing another one of those really good teams, it was usually a blowout at least by the third quarter. And they would go to a more competitive game. I mean, that was even happening recently. Now it's like everything is close. And even with the Vikings being down 33 points, 36-3, and they come back and win. They win in overtime. I mean, it's like I said, this feels like storybook. This feels like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is it entertainment? I don't know. I mean, at this point, like on DraftKings, you can bet on WWE stuff, which frankly, I don't understand that one bit, because they've even admitted that's predetermined. Why would I want to bet on something that's already going to happen? They already know what it's going to happen. Football is supposedly legit sport, and whatever happens. But to me, there's just been too many coincidences, too much nonsense going on, too many shenanigans. And like I said, I'm gonna go back to the Super Bowls. Last year, the Rams played in SoFi Stadium, won the Super Bowl. The year before that, Tampa played. Is this still called Raymond James? I don't know. They played in their home stadium, won the Super Bowl. And like I said, that never happened. I've been watching football for decades. That never, ever, ever happened until now. We had it 2 years in a row. What are the chances of that? I know the Niners played in Stanford. That doesn't count. I know it's Northern California, but I'm not going to count that. So, Officer Rollout says, too many games being won or tied on the last play. Really? Yeah, really. Really. How many overtime games have we had? How many overtime games? And how many final field goal kicks are there? And how many field goal kicks are are, that's another thing I know some people on YouTube like to talk about, is the number of field goals that are actually hitting the crossbars and the posts. When I was, like I said, when I was growing up, 80s, 90s, watching this, I mean, it happened, but not nearly as much as it is now. And it just seems like it just kind of adds to the intrigue and the suspense and all this other nonsense, you know. And they moved back the kickoff, or they moved up the kickoff rather, to prevent any kickoff returns, right? And now teams are kind of getting around that, and they're kicking it short now. For what? More excitement. See, nobody's going to watch a kickoff going through the end zone. Boring. And somebody gets it at the 2, they're going to run, oh, watch. So to me, it seems a lot more like a business. I'm talking about, it is a business, but it's like to the minute detail. How can we keep people watching every single second? Almost like a TikTok or a YouTube thing. How long can we keep the audience here and not go to the fridge or go to the bathroom or whatever, or change the channel to another game? It kind of feels that way now. It really does. So let's see. Does anybody want to come on here and talk with me right here? You can come on here. If you want to come on here, hit that link in the description, the pinned comment rather, and you can get right on here if you want to. If not, you can just stay with the standard chat, in the chat, typing it out. That's fine. That's okay as well. And especially if you're watching this on a replay, and like I said, I get a lot of people watching these on replays. Why not subscribe? Why not watch this live if possible, and be a part of this? Be a part of this. I want to hear what you have to say, because, you know, as a Raider fan, it feels like we've been screwed over so many times by the refs, you know, just like last week, like I said, with hitting the ball away, or a PI call, you just brush up against somebody, you know, yet Max Crosby can be held every friggin' play, or the stupid index card against Dallas Cowboys, and it went through. They put the index card, here's the football, it went through, but they gave him the first down anyway. How is that possible? It's not hit. It's supposed to touch the marker, the 10-yard marker, and they put it through, and they said, oh, that's a first down. Little stupid thing. I'm not even going to talk about the tuck rule. We could. Honestly, it almost feels like this is kind of an end of an era for the Patriots, and maybe that's the way it was scripted. They were scripted this tuck rule game the same year as 9/11, right? The tuck rule game, the Patriots won, and now they have to lose to us to end their era. And there's been talk that Belichick's going to be gone next year. I don't know about that unless he chooses it. I don't think they're going to fire him, to be honest. That would be absolutely shocking, given what he's done there. But there's talk of that. There's talk about him going to another team and all this other nonsense. And it kind of feels that way. And Mac Jones, like I said, Mac Jones isn't the answer. Most Alabama quarterbacks have not really been that good. I know Jalen Hurts has been really good this year. I'll give him that. But before that, what? McCarron? Give me a break. Come on. And I know we had Ken Stabler. He was from Crimson Tide, but that was during Bear Bryant. That was lifetimes ago. Let's see. Explains why so many players are taking ballet tackling. Well, that's another thing. We can watch that. I don't know. I'm gonna put the butt fumble. So, in my opinion, it almost feels like this was kind of the marker of the end of the Patriots era. To me, it started with us, and now it's going to end with us. So let's see. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna put it. I have to be careful now. Now this is somebody else's. They basically, from what I've seen, I'm not going to play the audio, but from what I've seen, they basically took the NFL has a video of this, and it's the same length. I think he just put it on here, but he's so small as far as subscribership, they might not have seen it. I'm not going to play the audio. That will probably get me. I recorded my own things, parts of the combine. I played like 3 or 4 seconds, and they got hit with that. So I'm going to play it. It doesn't matter. If it gets hit, then it gets hit. But I want to show, this is the last goofy play. This is, hopefully you can see this. I don't want to make it too big, because I'll probably, if the stream goes away, right, you will know why. Because the NFL does not like competition. Let's just say that. Even though we're just talking about this in fair use, I've gotten hit for that. So I'm going to start this, and I want to talk a little bit about this. Hopefully you can see this. This is the play. 3 seconds left. They're at about the 44, 45 yard line of their own. So to me, at this point, the Raiders tied the game on that play. I showed it could have went either way. It was reviewed forever. It was Keelan Doss in or out? I don't know. It could win either way, in my opinion. So Patriots get it back. 3 seconds left. No timeout. So to me, you have 2 scenarios here for the Patriots. Either you try for a Hail Mary, or you take a kneel down, you go to overtime. I didn't see this Stanford Cal bullshit. It didn't make any sense to me, but let's watch this. Let's watch this. I'm going to have, okay, so Ramondre Stevenson, handoff. So it kind of looks like, are they just going to run it, and why not just kneel down? If they're just going to make a running play in the fourth quarter, go to overtime, why not do that? So here's Stevenson. Now here's our hero, Chandler Jones. He's not gonna miss the tackle. Ramondre Stevens is just gonna run through his tackle. Here we go. Whoop! Pretty useless right there. So now Chandler Jones is gonna be just gonna sit there with his thumb up his butt at midfield, right? So now Ramondre Stevenson's running. Let me see if I can. So again, if something happens to the stream, you know why. They don't want to talk about this kind of nonsense, shenanigans here. So let's play this. So he laterals it back to Jacoby and Myers, the law firm here. Now he's going to throw it. Now he's going to throw it, but Mac Jones isn't even near where he threw it. Now, it looks like he might have been, I don't know. I'd have to look. Was he a quarterback in college? I don't know. But this pass is so shitty. It's unbelievable. It adds to the believability. This is nonsense. I've been thrown out Little League games for. Well, you don't know the rules. I think TikTok is a lot more forgiving for this kind of stuff. But YouTube, like I said, if it goes away, you know why. Just to let you know, they don't want you to see it. So here's Jacoby and Myers here, the law offices, the divorce attorneys here. Gonna throw the ball to, it looks like he throws it right to Chandler Jones. I'm just gonna say it. I got this at half speed. Whoop. Look. Whoop. And Max Crosby put him on his ass right after he threw it. But look, Chandler Jones doesn't have to move. He's sitting here like he's downing a punt here. Look at this. He's right here. Looks like he threw it right to him, guys. Looks like he threw it right to him. Whoop. So Mac Jones was 3, 4, 5 yards away from when Jacoby and Myers threw that ball, and he threw it right here. So why didn't he throw it way over here, and then maybe Chandler Jones kind of runs towards it and jumps up and grabs it and knocks? That would be more believable to me if Chandler Jones is much bigger than Mac Jones, of course, bigger and stronger. If he comes up and it's a lateral, there's no PI or any of that crap. If he came up and kind of outmanned him and knocked him down and got the ball, that would be more believable. It looked like he threw it right to him, literally right to him. I'm gonna roll this back. Okay. So we don't see exactly where Mac Jones is. And he throws it, standing there. He has to jump up a little bit. Look how far Mac Jones was. Look how far Mac Jones was. Now some people say, "Oh, he didn't make a good tackle." He's a quarterback. You can say yes, he's a quarterback. He's trying to tackle the defensive end. You can make the argument he tried there, but that throw, to me, it feels like it was rigged because it wasn't even near him. He should have thrown it, even if it was off, it should have been around here, and Chandler Jones should have had to come up within a yard or two of Mac Jones and fight him for the ball and then go. Okay, well, we're going to play this, and there he goes. And then you have, I believe, Hunter Henry here. He's not going to catch him. He's too far away. And he's got a little convoy anyway. So, I don't know. This is kind of ridiculous. And then later on, and I saw this live, and I was wondering, because this comes up as a flag. You'll see it. See, it says 0-0 fourth quarter. And then it'll say there was a flag on the play. See? Flag. So it says there's a flag on the play. I was thinking, here we go again. We're going to get screwed. They're going to pull some bullshit penalty out of their ass to take this away from us and end the quarter and go to overtime. That's who I was thinking. He literally threw it right to him. Raider Wolf says, what was Chandler doing there anyway? Chandler Jones blatantly missed the tackle. Ramondre Stevenson basically ran right through him. I'll show that. And then he just stood there. He just stood at midfield almost like he knew he was going to get the ball. I'm just saying. Here it comes. Here's Ramondre Stevenson. Here's Chandler Jones. Ramondre comes back. He should have been wrapped up right there. Shitty tackle. Trash. And then he got pushed down. And then now he's back up on his feet right about now. And what's he doing? He's standing exactly where he was. Just standing there waiting. And now Jacoby and Myers right here throws it right to him. Bloop. Like I said, he's about 4 yards away from Mac Jones. Where was Myers throwing that ball to? Where was the ball going to? At least try to make it believable. This is just unbelievable. And then the end of the Jacksonville game was wild. Not as wild as this. This is less to be believed than that. They had that overtime pick six. That's doable. This is just absolute insanity. Who is he defending against? So just standing there. I don't know. I mean, it looks fake, but for it to be fake, a lot of people have to be involved. I know that'd be kind of tough. I wanted to put it out there though, because it's getting to the point where it's not really believable anymore, guys. And there's Mac Jones with the sad face. And then there's Belichick. This almost kind of, like I said, this almost feels like this is the end of the era for Belichick and the Patriots. They had their 20 plus years, 6 titles. It ironically started with us. We should have won that game in the snow. We got screwed over. There was no pass there. That's nonsense. I mean, that was very well scripted. That was called a fumble, stopped to be reviewed in New York. That's what happened. And New York overturned that play, and they ended up winning the game. They ended up going to overtime and then kicking a field goal. That was before the new rules where you both get a possession. So 24-30. I don't know. And you could say maybe, Chandler Jones hasn't done much of anything this year, so they wanted to give him some love and all this other nonsense. So just standing there chilling. Yeah, he was just standing there. I mean, to be honest, at that point, but the tackle was terrible. But at least to try to follow up on the play, at least a few yards. He did not move. He just stood there and watched. It was weird. It was weird. And the big thing is, why did Myers throw it right to him? Why did he throw it right to him? There wasn't another Patriot within 4 or 5 yards. If he's trying to throw it to Mac Jones, like I showed, by the time he caught it, Mac Jones is about 3 or 4 yards away. So I'm thinking Mac Jones was like 4 or 5 yards. That is a terrible pass, lateral back. He's not a quarterback; he's a wide receiver. But like I said, maybe he played quarterback in high school. Even, I mean, these are like the elite athlete pros. I mean, I can't see that. Would he have pinpoint accuracy, Myers? No. But would he be 5 yards off target and throw it right to Chandler Jones? That doesn't make any sense to me. Officer Rollout says, I can run that play with a beer in one hand and a turkey leg in the other. yeah. So, again, let's if you want to get in on the vote, I put the poll out. Is the NFL rigged? I'm leaning towards it. It seems like every year there's more unbelievable plays. I mean, how many of these things can possibly happen by chance alone? I'm still wondering about that whole Vikings game. I'd have to go back and look at it. I didn't watch the game. I was actually in the middle of moving, so but I heard about it. And 33 points. I mean, I watched that playoff game, Buffalo and Houston. That was the old record. With Frank Wright doing it. Maybe that was involved too, because if you don't know, I believe Frank Reich also had at the time, biggest comeback victory in college football also before that. So I'm just saying, I'm just saying. So do you guys feel it is sports entertainment? Vote right now. I've got a few more votes. I'll leave it open for a little bit longer. If you guys want to come in, come right on in here. I have the pinned comment. You click on that. It'll open up the window in Restream. I use the Restream Studio. You can come in and talk. You can use your camera if you want. You don't have to. Use your mic and sound off one way or the other. If you want to talk about the game, if you want to talk about the NFL being sports entertainment, what have you. So it's very interesting. I'll just say that it's very interesting, some of the things going on here. So let's see. Guys, got any more comments? I usually run about an hour doing this. We're at the 42-minute mark. You can see here, 6:42 p.m. Of course, always on Raider time. I want to see how you guys are going here. Any more comments? We'll probably close this out. Our next live stream will be Friday evening. We have a Christmas Eve game. I probably will not be able to do a halftime report. I will be a little bit busy with the festivities, of course. But I will be on the 23rd, Friday the 23rd. We have a Saturday night game in Pittsburgh. I don't know at this point. If it's legit, to me, it's going to be a problem because it's probably going to be snow. There's going to be a lot of weather problems this week coming up, and in Pittsburgh and at night, this could be a huge problem for the Raiders playing this game. I don't know, but if it's not, who knows? If it's sports entertainment, we could win the game if it's scripted out that way. You know, they had Trubisky in there. Did all right. TJ Watt's back. I don't think he's 100% still. But it's funny though, because he's such a great player that when he is back, it kind of elevates the defense as a whole. Not to say they've been as dominant as they have before. Like I said, I don't think he's 100%, but still a problem. It's going to be at their stadium. They're probably going to want a little revenge from last year. I mean, last time we played Big Ben, his last year, we made that team look foolish. We totally dominated that game, to be honest with you. I think we won like by 10 points. It shouldn't even have been that close. Might want a little revenge here, and I know a lot of Raider fans are going, "Oh, we can still get in the playoffs." Honestly, I don't see it. We're going to have to win in Pittsburgh Saturday night. It's probably going to be snowing. That's going to be a hell of a task. And then we get the 49ers, whose defense is unbelievable. Let's be honest. They're stud. And then they went and traded for Christian McCaffrey. You could put a scarecrow at the quarterback. They're still going to be a tough team to play. And then, of course, we got to play the Chiefs the last week. I know those are both home games, but I'm not so sure. Since the new format, we have 7 playoff teams, but only one gets the first round bye. So I don't think the Chiefs are going to have that first round bye locked up. So that means they're going to have their full complement out there. So it's going to be very difficult. I think we might win one more game this season, to be honest with you, at this point. Raider Wolf says, if we make the playoffs, it's definitely rigged. Chargers and Dolphins have to lose 2 games, Jets have to lose, and the Raiders have to win out. Yeah, the Jets are kind of an enigma. You think, I don't know what happened to them. I mean, they're played pretty well. The Dolphins, I think the blueprint's out there to slow them down. Don't let Tyreek Hill beat you. Don't let Jalen Waddle beat you. Make Tua have to do more work. Not really impressed with their running game at all. Defense is a little underrated. I think they're pretty good. Chargers, honestly, with the Chargers, until they get Brandon Staley out of there, they'll never win a Super Bowl with that guy. I'll put $100 down right now. Chargers will never ever win a Super Bowl with Brandon Staley as head coach. I mean. Not just last year with us, the Cleveland game this year basically gave them that game on the silver platter, and Cleveland said, "No, I don't want to win this game this year." I was just shocked. So I am not impressed at all with that. They've racked up a lot of injuries too, especially on the offensive line. Their wide receiving core, Joey Bosa's been out for weeks now. They're not really going anywhere, but. Be very interesting to see. I do not see us winning out. There's no chance in hell we're going to win all 3 of those games. Maybe if it's rigged or by some miracle we win those 2 games, and the last week the Chiefs already have the first seed locked up and they play all their bums. I just don't see us winning all 3 of those games. Yeah, Israel says, Champ, do you believe the Raiders can make the playoffs at this point? No. I see us probably ending up at 8-9 right now. We'll probably win one more game, maybe 2 at the most. I'm just being honest here. If we go 8-9, that means we win 2 out of the next 3. And that's not going to be good enough. We'd have to run the table, go 9-8 and hope to try to get in at the 7th seed. And then probably have to go to Buffalo. Well, good luck with that. Have you seen our pass defense? We're going to get destroyed. We're going to get destroyed by Diggs and Davis and McKenzie and Dawson Knox because we can't cover a tight end either. It would be a bloodbath. This defense still missing huge pieces. Defensive tackle, cornerback. Talked about this in the offseason. Nothing was really done. We actually lost more players. So, at best, 8-9, I will say. 8-9 I would say 8-9 is optimistic right now. Probably more like 7-10. It's probably more realistic. We'll probably win one more of these games. I know Pittsburgh's in a little bit of disarray. There's talk about Mike Tomlin moving around too. Pittsburgh doesn't get rid of their coaches. They like to keep them around for decades and decades. So I doubt that. And this will be like his first losing season, probably. So, and like I said, it's going to be at night. Thank you very much, schedule makers. At night, mid to late December in Pittsburgh, with a huge storm coming, I mean, we're going to have Josh Jacobs on every play. And not turn the ball over, play clean, not 90 yards and friggin' penalties and all that bullshit to win this game. I mean, that's the bottom line. So let's see. Anybody else have anything else? We're almost at 50 minutes. Like I said, we normally go 1 hour. If you are enjoying this, give it a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Everybody says it because it's true. That's how YouTube is rigged. You got to have your likes. You got to have your subscriptions. If you're watching this on a replay, why not subscribe and be here with us so we can talk as well. We're going to be closing out the poll very shortly, so get your votes in. I have it out here on YouTube. Is the NFL rigged? And I'm going to let you get your final voting in right now. Any kind of final comments before we head on out. Of course, I enjoyed the game. We won. I'm a Raiders fan. Honestly, I don't think we deserve to win this game. We did not play well enough. If we played against a good team with at least a fairly decent quarterback, we would have been in trouble, especially in the second half, the way they ran the ball all over us. We could have very well lost by double digits at that point, and it's another collapse. Remember, we were up 17-3 at halftime, 17-3. And we almost go to overtime. We should have went to overtime. Some crazy rigged, not rigged play. Even if you think it's legit, that was the most insane, crazy thing to do. We should have at least went to overtime. And how do you do that? We don't have the killer instinct. Now, you can blame Derek Carr. You can blame Josh McDaniels. I don't know. This team does not have the killer instinct to put teams away. Not step on their neck. They don't do that. And as a result, you have teams sneaking in back into us. Arizona, terrible, 20-0. Houston, all this other nonsense. You know, these teams were not very good, not playing very well. And somehow we get outcoached, outplayed in the second half. We do stupid penalties again. 90 penalty yards. 4 false starts in this game. Are you kidding me? 4. That sounds like a preseason game. You got a bunch of scrubs in there, you know? It's not going to work. So anyway, let's close out this poll. It looks like about 2/3 of you say yes, it is rigged. 1/3 of you say no. I'm leaning towards the yes. To be honest with you, it kind of feels that way. And thanks for all the likes. I see it popped up to 11 likes. You know, if you haven't liked, put a like in there. It's absolutely free. Pop another like on that. I appreciate that, especially if you're watching this on a replay. It really helps out. Our next live stream will be on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific. We will be going over the game preview against the Steelers in the Arctic cold, in the Arctic wind, Christmas Eve. And until then, guys, thank you guys for showing up. And as always, go Raiders.
Something with all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the years?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.